Hello there, it's Bryson Bost. Today we're going to have a little bit of story time as well as a tour of a piece with an insane amount of patterns. The reason I think this is important to share is it really is a piece that tested the limits. And by that I mean trying to orchestrate, combine, and make sure everything kind of links up. It's a real test. And it's something I don't really do too often these days is fill an entire piece in. Generally, I'm quite satisfied playing with positive and negative spaces, trying to balance the two. But once in a while, I return to the world of the old ways and fill an entire piece in. It's a good test of wits, will, strength, and especially for those of you who are just starting out, I think it's very important for you to test your limits. Because I'll tell you, man, when you get your first blister, your first callus on your hand, it's one of the greatest feelings ever. So I say go big or go home. Go to the absolute ends of your endurance. You'll learn something about yourself. It's guaranteed. And all these unique moments that come about, they incorporate themselves into your work. It's rather shocking if you think about it. We'll zoom out so we can see on the greater scale what's going on. So many patterns. So much. This piece is 30 by 40 inches. You'll have to forgive me because I am walking alongside with you. But man, is there just so much to absorb and to enjoy. It's kind of like a forest of patterns and paints. And that's something I'd like you guys to enjoy too. Creating your own ecosystem, your own biome, your own little world that you're free in. Because it's wonderful to feel that, to feel free, to feel that peace inside, and also that sense of accomplishment from creating something that you know took you a long time. That's a wonderful place. So we're going to pause now so I can set up the camera to put a little bit more detail in there. And that's what we're going to do. So this is intermission. Well, I got to rest my hand for a while doing all those patterns. Hey, I put up the different hand than I used to work with. Well, I'm not ambidextrous, but I am left-handed. One of the things I thought about while doing the pattern structure is, in relation to the go big or go home mentality, is it's not so much about size completely or the amount of energy you put in, it's about how much energy you put in. And by that I mean, have you ever been in the situation where someone asked you or you asked a fellow artist, hey, how's your project coming along? How's your art? Well, I didn't really feel like it this weekend. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, this is the very thing that gives you your peace, your happiness, some joy in your life that adds that color in there when everything else is kind of gone off the rails, and you decided to neglect it. Maybe something more exciting at the time happened to come into your sphere that you thought, and then only you were disappointed by it. You know, maybe it was some date or something, some dinner outing, and you're like, wow, this is going to be great. And you think to yourself, wow, I should have just done art this weekend. Yeah, I've had those experiences as well. So that's something to think about. Perhaps if you increased it to, say, 20% of the times you began saying no to certain things and just injected that into your work life. And by work, I'm not talking about that 9 to 5 desk job. I'm talking about your craft. So that's something wonderful to kind of incorporate. Once again, I think in a Go Big or Go Home is just about time. The time it takes to just enjoy all of those processes and to really hone in on your craft and to evolve and all of those things. I mean, think about this. Now, I know this sounds a little bit wild, but okay, so you had a plate of French fries with a person in an outing. What if that same 30 seconds of time was dedicated to your work and you had some kind of strange epiphany and that's something you can't get back? So I'm not saying be a hermit, but I am saying, have you been giving yourself enough time to actually work? Whether you're a single person in a relationship, you're married, have you been in that environment that, say, you have to say sometimes to your partner or even to yourself, I need to do this for me so I can get this all straightened out and it's going to work out in the long run because I'm going to have a better sense of myself and of the craft. So again, I give you thanks. Thank you for spending some time with me. Also, please like and subscribe and tell your friends about what we're doing here. Thank you so much and take care.